content that speaks to self-improvement and self-development, helping people find their voices, tell their stories and spread the message of hope. She is an inspiration to many across the globe. Enun Jr. is a digital marketing consultant, product creator and trainer. He is a multi-dimensional peak performer and he has deployed his skills into creating R.E.A.D. a tech-enabled platform that aids African entrepreneurs to go and grow borderless. He currently leads a vibrant team of futurists taking on the ambitious vision of simplifying money movements to and from Africa at mobilance.co. He is a globally certified marketer who has helped over 20,000 entrepreneurs grow their business online. As a thought leader in business, marketing and finance, his workshops and content have been and still are instrumental in shaping and driving growth to budding entrepreneurs, startups and top organizations. R.E.A.D is driven by creating innovative solutions designed to power entrepreneurial growth in established and emerging fields, attracting admiration and recommendation while at it. R.E.A.D is available as a speaker and panelist for conferences, workshops and knowledge-sharing platforms with respect to fintech, entrepreneurship, digital media, marketing and personal development. Omakaro Samuel is the operations head at Explorer Real Estate, a startup that is involved in development and sales of real estate and currently operates short letting service departments within Abuja. He kicked off his career as a customer relations representative at Outsource Global, which explains his passion to see customer satisfaction at the center of every business. He has a strong desire to help startups thrive through funding and mentorship in the near future.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this prestigious platform, let us make welcome our guest speakers and our moderator for this webinar.
Wow, just wow. I mean, now there's every reason for everyone to have their notepads and their pen because today is going to be fire. So please, everybody, prepare your questions and start, let the chat box be buzzing with your questions while the webinar is going on. So make sure that everyone is active because today is going to be amazing. And to see that we are starting with energy is everything I need today. So without wasting time, I want to introduce our first speaker for today, Energetic EJ. You are on, ma'am. Welcome. You have the floor. I think you should mute your mic.
Mic is muted. Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Very loud and
okay. Ofem, well done. That was such a nice. I mean, your graphics, everything is on point. But no, I'm not going. I would say no way. No way are we going to let you use bots where we have amazing voices in the house. Come on. No, please. The next one, please. Can we get somebody in the house to do it? Please. Woo. I mean, I know AI is getting better and better, and the quality of the bots reading or narrating would get better and start to sound like human. But as of now, it's not sounding human. So. Anyways, guys, good evening, everybody. I'm so sorry I had to comment like that. I mean, already you saw in my profile, I'm a voiceover artist. So this is what's this? Is it that there are no longer voiceover artists in the town that we're not using bots? What's that? This was exactly why, I went on the journey of saying, you know what, we want our own audiobooks. I mean, there are a lot of audiobooks out there, and there are a lot of, Westerners having their audiobooks that are being read by, real people, but then you don't have enough of Africans being represented in that space. And that is why I am like an advocate for audio content and audiobooks, especially from African readers, for African authors, read by Africans, narrated by Africans, right? So we can do this. We have a rich culture, rich heritage, rich voices. We have rich accents. I mean, imagine you, rather than listening to this, robots reading one way, it's so monotonous. I don't know. I'm so like very, very kind of like sound tingles me. So I'm like, ouch, ouch. It was so painful for me to listen to. I'm so sorry, guys, but yes. But imagine if that was read by me, for example, like I did the voicing for the speakers, right? Or somebody else in the room who has, a great voice, sweet, smooth voice. Like it can come out better, really. So please, I'm advocating for our people. And besides, the R.E.A.D platform is here. I love the mission, to grow or to develop or to produce 10 millionaires in a year. How will we become millionaires if you are using robots to do our work? How? Tell me. Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you so much. That was just a really, really weird entry, but I had to plug that in because I couldn't go past it. Good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure, such a privilege to be here today. Thank you so much, Mama Tumini. Thank you for, inviting us to be here. And I am just so elated by my co-speakers in the house, my brothers. Oh my goodness. So I love what somebody said, who reshared the poster on his story, and I had to reshare it. It's like, oh my God, you guys gather in here. It's like the Avengers have converged. I'm like, yes. We are the Avengers. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes. UK, I see you, bro. So good. So good. So good to be on the stage, to be speaking, to be sharing the platform with UK and Raymond. Amazing brothers of mine. And I'm glad that I'm opening the floor because their own session will be fire. You see, I'm opening it to open the energy, right? But they are coming with the real tech stuff. For me, I'm just coming in hot, hot but cool, hot but chill. How is everyone doing today? So, I can't see you and I cannot see anybody's camera. I can only see Samuel's face. So hi, Samuel. I love to what's it called now? Appreciate and greet people that their cameras are on, right? Because now we don't know whether you're cooking a pot of beans in your room right now, and so your camera is off. So I'm just going to shout out to only those who have their cameras on. And okay, a few people who have their pictures, their profile pictures on. Emmanuel, I see you. Thank you for being here. Esther Uminigo, I see you. I think I know you. I think we belong in a community together. Bumia Yodele, I love your picture. It looks like it's real, but it's a picture. Beautiful. Atinuke, I see you. Thank you for being here. Alexander, I don't see your pictures clearly, but I see you. I see you with. So, guys, one of the things, and that virtual events are here to stay, right? Kikelomo Popola, your name sounds familiar. I'm sure that we have probably met before, been in a community together before. I see you. You are welcome. Now, one of the ways, for global domination, virtual events are here to stay. They're not going anywhere anytime soon, right? I hope you know that there is another variant of the old COVID again. There's a new variant again coming up. So there's already talks of a fourth round or a fourth wave. So we know that virtual events are here to stay. And so the same way that you will prepare for a real-time event, that you will not go without your face. Even though you are requested to use a mask, you still have to show up looking good, looking nice. It's the same way that you have to, prepare your profile online. So when you are setting up your Zoom account or any account that you're going to be using online, your social media platforms and all of that, one of the ways to also, get into that relevance, global relevance, so that wherever you are, whatever Zoom sessions you are entering in, you know, right now you can be anywhere in the world, right? By entering in any Zoom session. So a Zoom session can be hosted or operating from the US, from the UK, from wherever in the world, and you are in the room, right? You want to put your best foot forward, and that starts with your profile, such that if you're not putting on your video, your profile image should be intact. If you don't have it, you should have a nice profile image that catches the eyes, right? That would keep you memorable in the faces of people that are in the room, because most times some people go around just checking how many people are in the room. And when your face is on your profile, if your video is not turned on, it kind of sticks somehow, right? Then the face is there. That's another way. So bear that in mind. After this session, please go and edit your Zoom profile, put a nice picture there. And if you don't have a nice picture that you can use for your profile, but I believe you should, if you don't, please go and take a picture, right? Invest in that. It's very, very important. It's like your CV now in this virtual world that we are in. Sometimes your picture goes ahead of you before people even get to meet you in person, right? So do that. Get a nice picture, update your profile. And if you do not want to use your picture, for example, maybe you want to make it about your business or your brand, then create, your brand logo or something and have it as your profile picture, right? So that you are able to still leave a statement afterwards, okay? That's just by the way of introduction. Again, thank you so much for having me here. It's such a pleasure to be here today. And we're talking on, gaining global relevance, I'm speaking on leveraging technology, using technology to gain global relevance, right? And talking specifically to the power of podcasting. But generally speaking, when you talk about global relevance, I mean, right now we already know it's a global village, right? So you cannot feign ignorance anymore. It is not permitted. In fact, I think, there should be jail sentence, even if it's 1 hour in jail. If you are in this, if you are in this dispensation, and you're still saying, I'm not tech savvy, I'm not on social media, I don't like to be online. If you are like that, we will find you. You need to start finding people for that. And especially if you're a young person, right? If you're a young person, you don't want to be in that. You don't want to be in that space where you are saying, I'm not tech savvy. No way. Like, we all knew before now that everyone, like, the world is going to go digital. But the COVID or the pandemic just thrust us in, faster than we expected. So it is no longer an excuse that you are not tech savvy. If you are not yet, don't say it out. Just quickly go and learn. Go and learn the basics. But don't say, if you say it out, my spirit will show up and give you a knock on your head wherever you are, okay? Don't do that, all right? So you need to show up. And so we need to start to leverage technology for whatever it is that we do. And for you to start to gain that relevance, right? Relevance is just being known for something, being useful for something, being the go-to person for something, right? And the truth is, as much as all of us are in the whole wide world, right? I think we're now over 7 billion, in the world. Each one of us has something special. It might look alike. It might look similar to the next person to you, but it is not exactly the same thing. And so for you to be able to own your own and stand in your own place and be relevant in your own space, you've got to come to terms with it, that you carry something, that you have something worth offering, right? That you have something that the world needs. In one of my affirmations, one of the lines says, today, I meet those who carry what I need. You see, who carry what I need, and I meet those that need what I carry. So for you to be able to say such affirmations, you need to recognize that thing that you carry. And that's a journey that we all have to go on our own. Yes, we can get the help. We can get the help of coaches. We can get the help of our mentors. We can get the help of our friends or our peers, right? But it's a journey that we need to go on our own individually to be able to locate that one thing that is special about us, that one thing that would differentiate us, that will separate us from the rest of the world. Okay? that in this room of 32 people in this room right now, that would make you stand out. You need to be able to recognize it, because that is where global relevance begins from. You recognizing that special thing that you carry. And then when you know it, you start to fine-tune it, you start to refine it, you start to define it. And when you are done defining and refining it, then you can take it to the marketplace. And when you take it to the marketplace is when you now leverage on technology to be able to spread the word. Because basically what technology does for us, it just gives us a platform to a wider audience. So for example, let us quickly play, take a poll right now in the comment section. Please tell me where you are connected from. What part of the world are you connected from? Quickly, let's do that quickly. Let us take a quick poll. Type in the comment section for me. Where are you connecting from? Kikelamo says Lagos. Abuja. Somebody says Abu. Fem says Abuja. Samuel Omakar says Abuja. Mercy. Wow, a lot of Abujarians here. Francis says Benin. Lydia says Abuja. Ottawa. Ottawa is Canada, right? Alexander. Calabar. UK. Pick one now. You can't be in two places at the same time. Come on, dude. All right. So someone says Abuja. Wow. Ofejiro Mavo, Delta. Okay. Victory, Lagos. Mama, Abuja. Anani, Abuja. A lot of Abuja people here. Oh, okay. I feel like R.E.A.D is an Abuja-based venture, right? So you guys should bring me to Abuja soon. I want to visit Abuja. Raymond in the building. Raymond in the building. Welcome, bro. You're welcome from Cyprus. Absolutely fantastic. Now, for those of you, wow, Kike says Benue, you are welcome from Benue. Now, even for those of you in Abuja, you know Abuja is big as well. So maybe, I don't know what area in Abuja you are in, but not everybody, even in your area, so let me guess. I visited Abuja maybe once or twice years ago when I was in the entertainment industry. So we'll go for shows back then. So I think I remember Maitama, Asokoro, I think, I'm not sure. But yeah, so these are areas, right? And even in Maitama, for example, not everybody knows you right now, except you are maybe a politician or you already have a billboard on the streets for people to know you. But it is possible that a lot of people in that vicinity know you if they are online, because you have a presence online. And that's what technology does for us. But then being online or being in the online space is not enough in itself. And that's why it is important for you to, first of all, sit with yourself or sit with your coach, sit with your mentor, sit with your peers, people who are doing stuff that like as if that they are way ahead of you. Connect with them, sit with them, and try to find out that thing that makes you special. And let me tell you something about what makes you special. It might not, because at the end of the day, you might have gone to school with the same people. So you have the same education, right? What separates you might not be something so huge, or like, don't look for something very like, oh, no, it could be as simple. It could be as simple as your smile. It could be as simple as your smile. It could be as simple as the way you speak. It could be as simple as your voice. It could be as simple as the way you dress, for starters. Because at the end of the day, before we know what is in your mind or what message you carry, we will first of all see you. Toby Loba says from Poland, fantastic, you are welcome, right? So what technology does for us, it is expand, it pushes whatever it is that we carry, pushes whatever it is that we are to the world, to a larger audience, to the global audience. And so you don't want to pursue being globally relevant just by being in the global space first. You need to know what you are going to represent before you go out there. Do you understand? So one way, I'm focusing basically on podcasting as a thing, but I just wanted to lay the foundation to start with the fact that, see, you need to know what separates you. So even if you then use podcasting as a means to now reach the world, because podcasting is just one means. You could author a book. You could be a coach and create a coaching program. You could have a framework. You could like, for example, Ofem is already doing his thing by creating visuals, telling visual stories. with what he does. So it doesn't like, I mean, I get his point of using what would I call it now, the robots, robots whatever, or online voice or whatever would I call it. I can't remember. The name has escaped my mind now, right? There's a name they call them, right? I get his point of using that, but he's telling a visual story, right? So he already knows what he is going to present to the global world. And he just did that because, I mean, you just saw people that are here. Tobiloba from Poland, Raymond from Cyprus, somebody from Ottawa, Canada, right? All those people, even though some of them came late, right? So they didn't catch all those fanciful things you did. I hope you're going to play it again so that I can show them, okay? That's another way of, pushing your relevance. Always showcase yourself. Always put your best foot forward, right? But now we've seen, right? I love what I saw. Okay. Yes, I will play. Fantastic. I love what I saw. If there's any need now for me to create a visual and I need somebody, I can quickly reach out to Ofem and say, Ofem, I need you to create something like what you did, not exactly, but something similar, right? And I'm sure he's going to come up with something very, very fantastic. But he already knows what it is. So when you're talking about global relevance, you need to first of all know exactly what you are made for. What are you called for? What is your purpose? What is your message? What do you have to say? What do you have to share? And so specifically to my own, area of specialization, talking about the voice, talking about the audio content, you have to have what to say. So if you don't have what to say, then you'll just be showing up and blabbing onto nothing. Do you understand? So the first place to start is to understand or to realize or to capture or to recognize that thing that you carry that is special about you. One of my specialty is my energy. And that's why my name is the energetic EJ. So whether I am here to take that, my energy is going to stick with you. Like you're going to remember me for the energy, right? Even if you don't hear anything I say, maybe I'm speaking too fast. You're like, I can't hear what this one is saying. What's this one saying, Seth? But if there's anything you're going to remember about me, you're going to remember my energy, right? So now, I cannot also now just be sharing the energy anyhow, okay? It's not jollof rice, even though it is in a way, right? But I can't just be sharing the energy anyhow. I have to now package it into a content. And that's why I am focusing on the audio space, because I've always been around audio. I'm a singer, I'm a voiceover artist. I love audio. I love playing around with audio, right? So I create audiobooks. I'm a narrator. I do voiceovers, right? Okay. So that way, when I now bring my energy, so right now I also MC and I host event, I moderate event, both virtually and in person. So now I can now infuse my energy into this thing. And every time I show up, whether I am voice overing or I'm creating an audiobook or I'm speaking like this, or I am MCing an event, the energy comes through. It comes through. So first things first, in gaining global relevance, you have to know, what are you relevant for? What is that thing that you are good at, that you are great at? You might be good at it now, but it's going to take a lot of work for you to become great at it. It's going to take consistency for you to become great at it, but you have to know that thing and you have to come to terms with it. Because see, for the longest time, this energy of a thing that I'm talking about, which is one of my superpowers now, I did not know what it was. And so for the longest time, people around me made it feel like it was a negative thing. They started to make me feel like, you had too much. What's your own self? Farabale. If you're not Nigerian, it means like calm down, right? It means calm down. And so I would literally try to fit in to where people are, because okay, if I'm in a space with people like myself, I will be me, I'll come with my energy. But if I'm in a space with people that are like, hello, please, can you just please be gentle, right? I will try to be gentle and lose myself in the process. Do you understand? But right now, the moment, something happened to me in 2020, I lost a dear relationship. And it broke me. It broke me into pieces. It was so painful. It was because I felt like this relationship was a divine one. And then she broke up. Like she just like, I don't want to see you. I don't want to have anything to do. It was so painful. Like it was the most painful, breakup I've ever had. This is not a romantic relationship, it was a friendship, but I felt like we're supposed to be divine. We're supposed to do stuff together. We're supposed to do great things together. We connected so deeply, but over something so flimsy. And because I could not show up as myself, because I wanted to please people, I lost that relationship. And it was a wake-up call for me in 2020 to say, girl, you can't continue like this. You can't continue to try to fit in, to try to mold into shape. I mean, I'm a Christian, right? And for Christians, for those who are not Christians, please permit me. But I know where Apostle Paul says, I am all things to all people, right? I'm all things to all people. But then it is not for you to lose yourself in the process. It's for you to empathize, to be able to connect with people on different levels. But it's not for you to change who you are in your core. And so when that happened, I had to come to senses and accept, who I am for what I am. And the moment I put a name on it, that this is my energy, is my superpower, every other person began to see it and they began to appreciate it for what it is. So all of this I've said so far is just to establish that first things first. If you don't establish this, whatever medium, whatever thing you want to put out there might not really hold water. Okay. So now talking about podcasting quickly before my time is up, is podcasting basically is audio messaging. Is you putting your message together in an audio format and being able to spread it to a wide audience, right? For example, we all here who probably are on WhatsApp. So you have a WhatsApp account. You send voice notes to your friends and family on WhatsApp. There is a limit to how many people you can send to, because there's a limit to how many contacts you have on your WhatsApp list, except you are like a great affiliate, like somebody I know who has over 20,000 contacts on his WhatsApp. I mean, you are limited. You have maybe 100 or 150 or 500 or 1,000, right, at a time. But with a podcast, it's hosted on a platform where you can share to the rest of the world. So it could be shared to people who do not know you. Okay, so that's the power of podcasting. And so that is why you need to define what it is you want to talk about before you go using that kind of medium. It's like using social media, right? Anybody that is on social media can locate you. Okay, they can locate you. So you need to define what you want to be known for on the gram. You need to define what you want to be known for on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, so that when you go there and people search for you, they can find you and see you the way you want to be seen. So you need to be intentional. And so using podcasts is one way to do it. And the reason podcast is so interesting for me, again, because I'm great with audio, but also is that with my background in the audiobook space, is that there are people who are auditory learners. And I think I'm one of them. I prefer to hear and hear again, and it sticks because it plays in my head, right? There are people who are visual learners. There are people who just like to write, right? But if you're an audio learner, you like to listen. So there are people out there who would rather listen. And so we don't want to deny them the access to the great content that you have. That's why audio content. Also, there are people who are visually impaired, people who are blind, people who have sight issues that they can't really strain to read or watch your stuff because even the screen affects their eyes and gives them migraine, but they can listen. So we have to reach out to those set of people. And that's why I'm an advocate for audio content. But the funny thing with such content or this kind of thing is, even though we are creating it or looking out for this set of people, is that even people who have no sight issues, people who are not auditory learner can also still benefit. For example, if you're a busy executive, you can listen on the go. You can listen while you're doing your house chores. You can listen while you're driving. You can listen while you're doing your dishes. You can listen while you're exercising. Hence, audio content. So again, one thing to remember when you want to gain global relevance in this, online space is to define what you want to be known for and stay consistent with it, and then find the medium that works best for you. And for me personally, I love audio. That's why I'm going podcasting. Even though I double as even visuals, I love to be on the screen. I love to be on the screen as well, right? So I do both visuals and audio, but audio is dear to my heart as well, right? So in doing that, so in the podcasting world is that it gives you access easily, just like because it's a platform and people like to talk about themselves. So when you do podcasting, for example, depending on what type of podcasting you do, because there are different types, you can, depending on what style you want to go for, you can go solo, just you sharing your thoughts based on your expertise, based on your experience, based on your years of knowledge or your level of knowledge. You can go solo, or you can go the interview way. Exactly. People like to talk about themselves, right? So you go the interview way. So when you go the interview way, it makes it even faster for you to begin to gain global relevance. Because right now on podcast platforms, they have platforms where you can literally meet with people from all over the world. Like it's like there's one I'll call matchmaker.com, where you can go there. There are people who put themselves out there to say, I want to be on people's podcasts. They want to be interviewed. And this is the power of it that I feel like we Africans are not harnessing. We like to feel, let me just say everybody, but I think sometimes we feel like, I'm very good at what I do. My craft should speak for itself. Sis, bro, it doesn't work that way. You have to put yourself in that space. If you are great at your craft, you have to put yourself in that space. And I watch and I go on this site and you see people literally just coming at you and saying, I want to be your they will come and introduce themselves to you like, oh, I've seen your podcast, I see that it's good, I would like to be on it. Do you get me? But we don't have enough of us doing that. We need to do that, because one thing it does is, imagine somebody that has been on like 50 podcasts in a year. Do you know that's digital footprint for that person? Because when you Google that person's name, all the places that he or she has been will show up on Google. Do you see that they are very intentional about their imprint online? And that is what we also need to do in Africa. Okay? We don't do it enough. We do not even have enough people playing in the podcasting space or in the audiobook space. And this is what I'm an advocate for. So if you are here and you feel like you have a voice, whether you either have a voice or you have a message that you want to share with the world, and you're not sure, maybe you're not like me, you don't like to be in front of the screen, you don't want to be seen, you are shy, blah, 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 we can hear your voice and you do not have to show your face, okay? We can hear your voice, right? You can come on board and be a part of this movement to help African leave a digital footprint in the audio space, whether it be audiobooks, whether it be podcasting, so that we have more for speaking. Let me tell you something. For some of our languages in Africa, they will go extinct soon because the new generation are not understanding the languages and the old generation are not finding any way to capture it and leave it in the digital space. So that 50 years from now, 100 years from now, when everything is digital, we are going to be able to say, this is how this language sounds like. If we don't do it now, it's going to go extinct. And you and I are here to make that happen, to capture it into the clouds. Have you not noticed when you're watching documentaries, how many African documentaries have you seen that you will really see the pictures or the videos of a person that they are doing the documentary of from their childhood till their adulthood? Or check it if you're watching a documentary from maybe somewhere from America. From the day they were born, they have pictures, they have videos, they have clips. So when they want to do their documentary, they have everything documented. We don't. If you are into research, you will know that a lot of data is missing in Africa. So what can we do right now is to begin to deliberately put up content in the clouds for people to be able to research in the next 5 years, for people to be able to come and search and say, oh, when they want to search about you, they'll be able to know, see your journey because you are documenting it. And you have the power to even document it in the way that you want it to be documented, so that by the time anybody wants to say, you are great, they want to put your works together, they have enough to put together to bring out a rich story out of it. This is the power of the online space. This is the power of gaining global dominance using content, using audio content, using visual content, okay? Podcasting being one of them, all right? I really do hope that with this few points of mine, I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you that you have a voice and your voice is meant for impact. And one of the ways that you can impact with this voice is by putting out great content, but being intentional. First of all, defining who you are, what you carry for your world, what message you want to share, looking for the medium that best suits you to share that message, and then go all out, but intentionally, strategically, putting out the content that will gather together tomorrow to make a whole new story. I really hope that you have been inspired today. Thank you so much one more time for having me here. It's such a pleasure. I'm honored to be here and to share with you today.
Oh my goodness. It's the energy for me. I'm sure it's the energy for all of us. I mean, while her session was going on, I was just shaking my head because in my mind, there's a lot to do. There's a lot. The potential in Africa is massive, guys. There's a lot to do. I mean, look at when she talked about languages, you know, the no footprints, you know, it's just amazing that we have a lot of opportunities, and this is the time to plug in. If you are not plugging in, as coach will say, you are sleeping on a bicycle, and if you fall, it's gonna be dangerous. So guys, I just want us to appreciate energetic EJ on the chat box. This has been so inspiring. We are so inspired by you, ma'am. We are so inspired by your journey, and we are really, really grateful to have you today. Thank you so much. Guys, please, I want you to prepare your questions because I have my questions. I want you to prepare your questions because this opportunity doesn't come every time. So prepare your questions, send them through the chat box, and then you can also write questions down and ask personally. Without wasting time, because time is not mine, I want to move on to the next speaker for today. And personally, somebody chatted me up when they saw that he was on for this webinar, and they said, if Uke is on, I have to be on. So without much ado, I am going to give the floor over to Mr. Uke. Thank you. You're welcome. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate that. I hope everyone can hear me. I believe so.
Loud and clear. Yes.
And that, so let me start by saying thank you to R.E.A.D Nigeria for this, of course, amazing opportunity. Thank you, Energetic EJ. I mean, that was such an excellent session. Really, really appreciate you. I think for me, what I really took out was how much more we need more representation and being intentional about how we create our digital footprint. I think that is really powerful, honestly, because you can't do that without any level of intentionality. And I really admire that. I mean, when you look at, there was a time I sent her an Instagram DM. I said, are you following me on Instagram? Because it's as if you didn't come to play. Like, I would go on the app and I'm seeing 3 straight posts from her. And I'm like, what is happening? Are you the only one on my feed? So if there's anybody that can definitely tell us about creating digital footprints and just putting ourselves out there, she's definitely the right person. So it was a pleasure to hear from her. And of course, you know, take notes from what she said. So thank you also to Mr. Sam, has been an amazing host so far. I've been here from the start. I enjoyed the song, one of my favorites, Legendary by Walshy Arms. Really, really love it. So I easily identify. Okay, so my session basically is about leveraging technology for brand growth, right? Growing your brand. And I'm excited to see a lot of people in the house today. I believe that all of us, you know, in some way are connected to one brand, one business, one company or the other, that we are really excited to, you know, leverage technology to grow, right? We want to see growth, you know, happen. You know, we want to see growth happen in the things that we do. And it's really important that we're here today. Okay, so just like every other speaker that I know is going to come on today, I've also prepared and, you know, come ready to deliver, right? So I would basically break my talk down into like 4 components. I wish it could be 5, right? But I'm just going to break it down into 4 that will make conveying this message really, really simple. All right. Now, the whole talk about technology this, technology that, you know, I think for me, the post that I made promoting this on my Instagram is, or the opening line was, technology has been around for the longest time. So technology is not necessarily constrained to Facebook, Instagram, Zoom, and the rest, right? is not social media. Okay, it didn't just happen in our time, right? Technology is just a creative way, I would say, of doing something that achieves a result that you would ordinarily not have by just using some sort of natural means, right? So it's just a way that you put tools together to make it work for you at like a different level, at an increased, level. So it basically is all about, improving efficiency, right? Now, the 4 components I'm going to be talking about today when it comes to growing your brand leveraging technology would center around these 4 things I'm about to mention, right? First of them is media and advertising, because I believe that is one of the simplest forms of technology that we can all relate to, media and advertising, right? The second kind is automation, right? Automation. The third one is development, and I'll definitely break these things down and show you the magic around each of them. And then the fourth and final piece for today would be payments and treasury. Now, these are 4 pillars of any brand that I believe needs technology. And if you apply technology to, you would see a very huge return. So I'll take them again. The first one we're going to be looking at is media and advertising technology. The next one is automation technology. The third one is development. And then the final one is technology that has to do with payments and treasury. I'll explain. Now, let's take the first one, right? And really look at it critically. Media and advertising. Now, what we're doing here, what we're leveraging here right now for R.E.A.D Nigeria to reach so many people across the globe. We have people in Canada here. We have people across Nigeria here. We have people in other nations of the world, Dubai and the rest, right? This is powered by technology that it relates to media and advertising. When you are setting up your brand, or if you are, building a brand, you want to pick out certain tools that would help you communicate. The whole essence of media and advertising technology is to help you communicate your value or your brand's values, right? It's to help you communicate these values and put them out there, just like EJ said, putting the word out there. Podcasting is a sort of technology that helps you communicate, right? And there's so many of them, right? From the basic social networks that we are all on or all a part of, right, down to the advertising networks, right? You do not want to skip them, because I think if there's anything that can really kill a brand, it's obscurity. And of course, no brand wants to be obscure. So it is your goal to make sure that you're known, your brand is known, right? And to achieve that, you want to rely on technology that helps you with media and advertising. Now, media and advertising, I broke them down because media for me is just the distribution, right? But the advertising part of it is being intentional about, I would say, sales, more or less, right? Like conversion, right? Not just putting content out there, right? So the advertising part of it is like conversion. Now I mentioned that some of the technologies that have to do with media are basically things like social media. I mentioned Zoom, these are all technologies that help you just communicate, put the word out there. Instagram, Facebook, podcasts, and one tool I love in the podcasting space is Anchor. Really helps you just publish a podcast across different brands like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the rest. Okay, now when it comes to technological tools for advertising, you have ad networks. So you primarily have ad networks. Now, ad networks basically refer to platforms that help you advertise. So you're talking Meta, formerly Facebook. You're talking Google, Twitter, LinkedIn. They all have ad networks that you can be a part of. They've built this behemoth of ad network, if you will, right? That you can place advertising for your brand out there. And the cool thing about advertising really is the ROI is, if you do it right, the ROI just makes sense for your business, right? And so while it's not necessarily something that is easy to pull off, but if you put in the work to making sure that it is set up properly, the truth is you will always see the returns, right? And there's let's assume you do a bad ad campaign. What's the worst thing that could possibly happen? You get new reach, because definitely people will still see your ad, right? And you get new data. So advertising, also helps you with data, right? Now, the second piece, all right, or the second part of technology that you want to really look at for your brand is automation, technology that help you automate things. The essence of automation technology is basically to help you scale and boost efficiency. Scale and boost efficiency. You do not want to end up running a one-man show, because I believe that, you know, you would love to, you know, enjoy your weekends. You will want some parts of your brand, your business to operate without needing you physically, right? Or without needing you, you know, on your laptop 24/7, without needing you touching every single piece, right? So automation, you know, is very important. The gifts and costs of automation really is, sometimes you feel like you can do a particular thing. So, and you've been doing it in your business, in your brand for quite a while now, and you feel like, okay, yeah, I will just keep doing this. You know, I know how to do it. It takes me 5 minutes to do it. There's really nothing there. I can always just keep doing it. The truth is, at some point, if you would just automate that process or that workflow, you notice that you're saving yourself back that amount of time that you're committing to doing certain things. For instance, today, if you have a business that people purchase, obviously, if you have a business, people purchase stuff from you. So let's assume a customer purchases something from you. I do not think that if the fact that they're able to purchase that thing from you over the internet, you should still need to manually have to send them things like receipts. You can set up a simple automation that saves you 5 minutes of having to DM the customer a receipt, and it automatically sends them a receipt. Now, let's look at the very simple workflow now. You signed up for this webinar, right, on a landing page, on a certain page, right? I'm not going to technical. On a page. You got an email almost instantly. Imagine if the R.E.A.D Nigeria team had to manually send you a link to join. Every single person that was registering, you have to text you, this is the link, or probably even call you, oh, hello, we just saw a registration. Okay, we are going to send you your link now. That would just be so much time gone. But the power of automation, you register, you just sit around your inbox for a minute, and you get an email saying, hey, thanks for your registration. Here's your link to join, and everybody's happy, right? So there's certain, you know, exactly. There's certain parts of your business, you know, as much as you can, try to automate almost everything. Of course, there's still human parts that you can't necessarily automate. I know that, but there are some redundant tasks that you don't want to have to be doing. And like I said, the gifts and costs of it is that most times you found yourself being able to do this thing over time. So you've probably even built like a simple process for doing it, and you don't even just want to like find the time to see if you can automate this thing. But trust me, a lot of moving parts of your business can be automated. Now, the whole concept too, again, about automation is thinking in terms of workflows, the concepts of workflows. Now, let me give you an application that is like that is stellar when it comes to automations. So there are two actually. The first one, which you might have heard of, is Zapier, right? Zapier is I'm a big fan of Zapier because there's almost, to a very large extent, there's almost no workflow in your business that you can think of that Zapier cannot somehow find a way to automate. Let me give you an instance. Let's assume that now you registered for this webinar, right? You signed up, you got an email. Let's assume that the R.E.A.D Nigeria team wants to pull the data of everyone that had registered and put them on a Google Sheet, and then take them again from that same Google Sheet and subscribe them to an automated email series of like 5 days. Without having to do that manually, it is very possible with Zapier. So every single, how that would work is thinking of it in terms of like a workflow. It is called workflows, right? So you would imagine a part of your business you want to automate, it becomes a workflow. With Zapier, you can pull 1, 2, 3 tools together. Now, let me break down how we would have automated this thing I just mentioned now. So you signed up for this webinar, R.E.A.D Nigeria has your details, but now they want to automatically subscribe you. For instance, let's say you opted in, they want to take your email, put it on a Google Sheet, take it from that same Google Sheet, that same instance, and send you subsequent mails about R.E.A.D Nigeria in future. How that would work, really simple. You just go to Zapier, right? Once the people have registered on Zoom, you would set up a Zap or a workflow using Google Sheets and the emailing platform that R.E.A.D Nigeria uses. Let's assume that the emailing platform is MailChimp. So once your registration details have come in via Zoom, Zapier would pull that into Google Sheets and then communicate to talk to MailChimp that, how far a new person has just registered. R.E.A.D Nigeria, our guy said, once a new registration comes in, carry this email, carry this name, and go and send them another email about R.E.A.D Nigeria's upcoming webinar for the next month, without them having to do a single thing again after you register. So that's how powerful automation is. And I say it again, there's absolutely almost nothing that you can, almost no workflow you can imagine in your business, right, that you cannot automate using a tool like Zapier. So like, just think about it. Let your mind be free, right? If there's anything right now that is bugging you, that you feel like is redundant, you don't want to do again necessarily in your business, right? Just think about it. There is a way to automate it in such a way that 1, 2, 3 tools pulled together will just do that for you, right? And you don't have to touch anything. You set it up once and it just keeps running. Now, the other tool is called Integromat. So that's Integromat. I'll type it in the chat, right? Integromat. It's similar to Zapier, even though it has some bit of differentiation. So these two, powerful tools they give you the ability to imagine any workflow in your business. Okay, do you want a situation where as a new lead comes in, they are able to fill out a mini survey, and after filling out the mini survey, they're able to get a video. After getting that video, they're able to get something else and get some other thing, or have access to whatever you can imagine, you can automate. And this would simplify your business processes going forward, buying you more time to focus on other parts of your business, right? Cool. So that's about it for automation tools, right? And you notice that I'm not dwelling too much on some of them because there's like, how you have bigger fish to fry, yeah? So there's more stuff we're coming to, right? Okay. Now, the third aspect of technology that you want to take seriously in your business is technology that helps you with development. Now, what do I mean by development? I basically mean production. So, for instance, you want to create a new experience in your business. This can be launching a website. This can be launching an e-commerce store. This can be creating an internal dashboard that you use to review your business, see how many people are visiting your website, know how many people are clicking on a particular button, know how many people are, whatever the experience is you want to create, whether it's a new product, right? So technology that helps you with developments are really important. I'm going to mention a couple of them too as well. First of them, really basic, everybody probably has heard of this one, is WordPress. Now, WordPress is another really powerful piece of software that you could use to build almost anything that you can imagine in your business, right? So from the basic websites and e-commerce stores to simplify your business processes, right? WordPress got you, okay? That's one. Now, there's another cool tool that we've been exploring, my own businesses. It's called Noloco. Now, I'm going to type it in the chat, Noloco. Noloco, you can go look it up. Now, Noloco helps you build internal apps, internal applications without having to write any single line of code. You don't have to be a programmer. You don't have to be a developer. You don't have to be CSS, UI, UX designer. You don't have to be any of those things. Noloco can help you build internal apps. What do I mean by internal apps? I gave examples earlier. Let's assume you want to manage some certain parts of your business process. Okay, let's assume you want to be approving people into your Facebook group. For instance, you can use Noloco to build a very simple application that you can give to your team members or admin members, and they will be able to see new applications come in per time and be able to approve them. So it's like you can build an entire engine, right, internally using Noloco, for instance. Good. Let's say you are in the services space and you want to serve your clients better, and you want to offer them a client portal where they can come, they can get a login, see the services that they paid for, be able to track the progress so you don't have to always DM them, madam, we're on your walk, oh, we are currently here, this is where we are, this is what we are doing now, this is what we are not doing, oh, to finish by this time. You can use Noloco to build a simple process where they will just simply log in as a client of yours, whether they hired you to build their website, they hired you to deliver food, they hired you to whatever it is that you offer, right? You can give them a login access. So now you have less customer support stress, you have less calls to deal with. Your clients can have their email, their password, they log into your company's app and they're like, oh, okay, this is my product. Oh, I see this is the updates. Oh, okay, cool. This is where they are. All right, cool. And they can see when next to expect an update. You can also send them documents within that platform. You can send them chat. They can chat with you within the platform too, right? So it just helps you simplify a lot of things and just make your business more robust, more respectable, right? Imagine if I hired a digital marketer now for my business and say, oh, okay, I'll need you to help me generate leads and whatnot. Now, if I were that digital marketing agency, I'll just simply set up my Noloco app, right? Without code, without writing any piece of code, and make access available to my clients where they can log in, check in at any time. So they don't have to call you 2 a.m. saying, where are we? Every single update is accessible within the internal app. They just log in and they're able to know where each thing is, knowing what they are getting, right? And they can even purchase more services from you because you can place action buttons and you can create further workflows. It's just amazing, the power of automation, right? And I'm a big fan for it because, you know, most of us do not yet have the wherewithal to hire very large teams to do XYZ thing, right? So sometimes our businesses have so many moving parts, right, that we want to achieve per time. But the truth is, with seeking out automation tools would help you build faster and create richer experiences for yourself, richer experiences for your client. And you can even use it as a unique selling point. So, hey, as a digital marketing agency, we don't just take your money and get on your project. With us, you can also get an online dashboard to look at your work at any time and have instant access. You can communicate with us there. We have live chats within our app and everything. Really cool. So you can turn it into like a unique selling point, right? So that's the essence of tools that help you with development. You can create rich new experiences, both internally and of course externally, right? And I hope people are getting value today, right? Okay, now we're going into the third one before we wrap up. Okay, the final piece, actually, not the third one, my bad. I've mentioned three already: media and advertising, automation, now development. Cool. Now the final piece is technology that has to do with payments and treasury. I mentioned this. Now, what does this mean? This basically means, how do you pay, get paid, and manage your accounting? How do you pay, get paid, and manage your accounting? Let me tell you this for free. It can be the ghetto when it comes to collecting payments as an African business, whether locally or internationally sometimes, right? And it can also be a very crazy thing to manage all of that system, plus also doing your accounting and keeping your books straight. That's why you see a lot of small business owners just completely neglect their book. They assume sales that they made, assume profits rates and all of those things. But taking a look at technology that helps you with your payment systems and account systems is really important. Now, I'm going to break this down into three sub-tiny categories, right, before we wrap up. Three sub-tiny categories. Number one, making payments yourself, right? So you want to have a system. So get virtual cards that you'll be using to make bill payments within your company. It's not every time you just be finding anything that you see available to make, so that it will help with your record keeping, right? Get a particular virtual card that you can always be recharging, to make your payments. Maybe you want to pay a supplier, purchase new stock, this and that, whatever it is, hire a vendor. That way it simplifies your books, right? So that you don't have to stress yourself, doing your numbers at the end of the day. Now, getting paid. When I'm talking about getting paid, I'm not just talking about getting paid locally. Forgive me, but I don't think that you should exist as a business without hunting and being available to do business globally, right? Because there's absolutely nothing stopping us. Right now, we have people from all over the world converge in this room today. So why can't you take money from all over the world? So when I'm talking about getting paid, I am in no way saying oh, collecting naira from the next door neighbor. No, that is not it. As you exist as a business, you automatically, whether you signed up for it or not, you're automatically serving markets globally. That's on you, whether you want to collect the money from globally or not, but you are automatically existing as a global business in today's world. Maybe 10 years ago, you could hide and say, oh, nobody can find me. Now, when you go and create an Instagram page and say, I sell fancy head ties for weddings. Anybody in Canada can say, my sister is having a wedding, can I purchase? So, and obviously the Canadian person has Canadian dollars. So why shouldn't you have a system to be able to accept Canadian dollars? You have to think about these things, right? The second you exist as a business today, you've signed automatically that you're a global business, right? So now 2 platforms that can help you with collecting payments globally. All right. First one, if you have like a website, e-commerce store, you want to be able to get Stripe. Stripe is a global payments processor, right? But now when you go on Stripe's website, they will tell you, oh, we're not currently in Africa, or I beg, join wait list. When we launch, we'll let you know. So today, they have never launched and they will never launch. The chances that they will even launch is very slim, right? But how do you get access to all of these tools that are global in nature? Very simple. Take the business that you currently have and incorporate it in other nations of the world. For instance, today, you and I can access a tool like Stripe and a business PayPal account by simply incorporating your Nigerian business, your Ghanaian business, your African-based business in another nation like the US, right? And it's relatively affordable, right? If you do business, to some people, yeah, it might be a bit expensive, but it's completely worth it, right? Now, you do that and it automatically unlocks that access, because now you're no longer seen as the African brand. You are seen as not just a Pan-African brand, you're seen as a global brand, right? So countries like the UK, the US, you can incorporate your companies there, Dubai, Canada, without having to leave your bedroom, right? It can be done all remotely. I'm going to type in the chat a platform where you should go look at to be able to do that, so that I can move on, all right? So go check out Go Nomad Africa if you ever want to do that and expand your business globally. That's a good platform to use. All right, now one of the last things I'm going to say, the other platform I'm going to say when it comes to like receiving your payments right now is Move Funds, right? So Move Funds, the CEO also typed in the chat. If you're a freelancer, a service-based person, you don't have all of the setup yet to have your own system and whatnot, but you want to be able to collect payments from your clients in wherever they are in the world, right? Seamlessly, without hassle, without failed payments back and forth and too much story. You can use Move Funds, simply sign up, create a payment link or an invoice and issue it to your customers, and they'll be able to pay you from anywhere in the world. Then lastly, as a business person, as someone who owns a brand, I want you to think about this concept. I am yet to expand on this very much. I've been contemplating doing a webinar, but I'm not sure. Let me just type it in the chat. The concept of this, please find a way to master it. Store of value, store of value, store of value. Let me tell you something for free. That you make money is not that customers pay you or buy your service or product is not the only kind of money that you can make. Making money is one part. Earning an income is one part. But being able to grow your brand, you have to think about how you then store that money and grow it. Let me tell you something for free. A study was put out in 2016. The largest corporations in the world shifted their taxes or their tax basis to 5 major regions: Ireland, Bermuda and Caribbean, Switzerland, Netherlands, and Singapore. Why are they doing that? To be able to shave off their tax bill. It is legal, right? It is completely legal. It is when you understand the concept of store of value, that value that you have received. Are you in an economy that does not necessarily appreciate that value? You can take those things out legally. So you should not be restricted to only. So what happens now if your Nigerian bank account gets shut down? You should have access to bank accounts across borders, right? To be able to funnel your money, your profits abroad. There's something I used to say: if you don't have naira, have dollars. Shall have something, right? So get global bank accounts. You can do that. You can, of course, have that once you incorporate your companies in these different jurisdictions, right? So before you even begin to think of the larger game that corporations are playing, like tax havens, start from where you can start, which is being able to funnel your profit. I don't see why you should keep your profit, your actual business profit in naira. absolutely does. I do not agree with that concept because it is not a strong enough currency. This is just business talk now. It is not a strong enough currency to do that. All right. So if you incorporate your companies, you'll be able to get global bank account. I'm giving you the plug for you to be able to go look at that. But yeah, like I said, store of value, really, really key for you to study. Look for how you can, better ways to manage your processes, manage your operations, manage your money. And of course, when you implement these things, you see that there's just so much leverage that you can build, and you would be no business, no competition in your space will be your mates, because the things that you'll be doing, the system that you have under the hood, trust me, they will be completely fantastic. That's my time. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to begin, but I'm grateful that I'm following you on Instagram, and I'm following you everywhere. And I'm grateful that you're following me back as well, because this is fire. This is something else, because the value we are getting today is amazing. It's amazing. And I know I speak for everyone when I say we are overwhelmed. We are indeed overwhelmed, and we are grateful. Thank you so much. Please, everyone, go to the chat box and say a big thank you to Mr. OK. This was an amazing session. I mean, somebody said so much value. I mean, the value is just so much, guys. It's just so much. I mean, something he said in today's world, you are global automatically. As long as you post that picture on Instagram, you are global. So you are not even local anymore. You are global. So how are you doing globally? These are strategies to thrive, people. These are strategies to thrive. I'm really, really elated today, and I am grateful I am part of this. I wish we could talk more, but we have to move on to another bomb session. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Raymond Okpani, I'm sure you're fired and ready for us. I'm going to give you the floor right now. So people, please prepare your questions. Once Mr. Raymond is done, we go straight to the question and answer session. I'm sure you are ready. I am ready as well. So Mr. Raymond, you have the floor.
All right, everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Can you hear me? Please, can you confirm you can hear me? Oh, fantastic. Just give me a minute.
We can hear you loud and clear, yes.
Then when you finish hearing people like UK and EJ, what else can I say? Hey guys, how are you guys doing? Good evening, everyone. I am so excited to be here. I mean, I was just writing and taking a lot of notes here. I mean, okay, you had to take me through. I'm studying, but you just took me through a full masterclass right now. And these are things you have never told me this thing. You have been my friend for years, but never mentioned these things to me. Thank you so much. And thank you so much. First of all, let me say a very big thank you to the R.E.A.D Nigeria for this amazing platform. I am very excited for the opportunity to share. This is a lot of work. When I spoke with Kike earlier, I was like, how are the preparations going? Because I understand how organizing events like this can actually be. It's a lot of sleepless nights in trying to get this kind of value. Thank you so much. And yeah, okay, thank you so much for that. We're gonna do a lot of talk at the background, even though, yeah, I mean, this is family. We don't need a lot of formality. And yes, for energetic EJ, energetic, I was, you said something that was very profound, and that's like the aspect of preserving our culture and our language. And that's very profound. I mean, I've been privileged to travel to like about 15 countries, and I can say how much a lot of other countries value their language, value a lot of things that their culture, and are making a lot of efforts to preserve those, their culture so that it doesn't go extinct. And this is something, some part of Africa, I mean, if you're also in Nigeria, you'll find out that we're not really doing it so much in trying to preserve our culture. And it's really something that I like the energy that you brought. In fact, I was writing both on my note, I was writing on my board here. I have a whiteboard here by my right. I was writing on the board, I was sketching, and I also writing. And I just had to just write something that, okay, energetic was just trying to say, trying to tell us that we have a voice. You need to recognize, and that's my takeout lesson. You need to recognize that we have a voice, and we need to amplify our voices. right? And UK came to give us pathways through which we can channel those voices and really, really make a lot out of it. I'm here to talk about global relevance, like breaking geographical limitation through technology. UK has done a lot of justice in trying to, telling us a lot around the technological aspect. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not, but I'm just going to, when I spoke with the coach, and she was like, Raymond, you need to tell your story. She said, would you be excited? Would you like to talk a particular part of your life? I don't know, madam, do you still want me to say that? Just let me know. Can you just indicate so that I can just get it up there? But thank you so much, everyone. She said I should go ahead. All right, guys, let me just quickly go ahead. My name is Raymond Okpani. Yeah, I'm here in Cyprus. I'm here studying, but it's taking me a lot of time. It's taking me 14 years to be here. What I'm going to do today is basically to share with us, trying to shake a lot of internal tables. I'm not going to do anything on the outside, but I'm going to try to tell you guys my story on how I had to break this geographical, there's this geographical wall and fence using technology, using some of the tools in technology to really build very massive relevance in the global space. And I'm going to leverage on my story, to do that. So let me start by saying that, you see, there is no difference in people except for the things they know and apply. Gone are the days when we say that, knowledge is power. That doesn't stand anymore. It's an obsolete theory. What we know now is that it is actually applied knowledge that is power. So no matter how long energetic EJ shares about how much the opportunities that are latent in podcasting and audio messaging and all that, putting yourself out there, no matter how long UK takes time to tutor us and tell us a lot about technology, tell us about automation. I really, really love that automation part. Tell us about how to build these tools that can help us to make our work easy and expand. You see, it's actually when we apply these things that it can actually work for us. It doesn't matter how sweet it sounds. It really has to boil down, with our application of these things that we know. So let me tell you guys, we are actually in the decade of the underdogs. This decade has been termed to be the decade of underdogs. And what does that mean? It simply means that this is actually the decade. In the next 10 years is a time where we're going to have a lot of people who are nobodies, who are just coming from nowhere. And we saw this during the COVID period, where a lot of people just came out from nowhere. The pandemic came and flattened the curve. Most people that were wealthy became poorer. Most people that were poor had to find a way to catch up, while other people were still trying to analyze, to understand, is there any change happening and all that. And those people are still regretting why they didn't take a lot of action. But these are decades where someone can actually, like Uke said, you can actually set up a business in your village, and you can, from your village, control the United States. You can just take a portion in the world. I was listening to a mentor at the global space when he was talking about the landmark of the size of the world, and then he was saying that he just wants to a portion of that, of the landmark of the world. So you can actually stay in your village. It is possible. Uke just told us that it's actually very possible to stay right in wherever you are and do a whole lot for yourself. So these are actually the decade. This is the decade where you have lost the rights to be local. You have lost the right to be local. If you're listening to me right now, you have lost the right to be local. And I'm going to tell you very quickly what I mean by you have lost the right to be local, right? A lot of people know me, but they don't know my story, because the strength of who I have become these days is actually based on my story. And my story actually comes from, I know a couple of persons that that follow me online, or perhaps they have access to my WhatsApp number, I get to share a lot about my personal story. I mean, I grew up in a very chaotic environment, a very hostile environment, where there were no motivations. Nobody told me about how to take steps. I never had anything. I didn't enjoy any of the things that my peers enjoyed. I struggled through school. I was very brilliant. I was intelligent, but I struggled through school. I was always out of school, and then after school, it took me 14 years. It took me 14 years to get to the university. You can imagine someone that I was very, very excited. I wanted to study medicine, become a medical doctor and support as much as I can. But life happens, right? And that's actually where I'm going. I'm getting to that. I'm still trying to get us to where we can have like a rethink about where we are. Perhaps you feel like your geography, your location is the reason why things are not working well for you. So I'm just trying to share my story about how I was at the place where, yes, I had every reason to cause more nuisance, to amplify complexity in the society. But I made a choice, right? And that's exactly what we're talking about today. And it took me 14 years. It took me 14 years to get into the university. And when I made that decision, I decided that I wasn't going to do that in Nigeria. And it took me 14 years. And I'm going to tell you guys how I leverage technology to do that till now. But let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you guys the truth. The truth is that some of the phenomenal tables that you will ever sit on will be built by you. What do I mean? What I mean is that some of the things you are aspiring to do, some of the desires that you have, they're gonna be built by you, right? Nobody was created to be anybody's breakthrough. If you ever want to be the number one person in your industry, whatever role you're playing, whatever business you're doing, whatever future you are desiring for yourself, you are the person that will build that future, right? Some of the life that you're desiring, you're really looking forward to living, is gonna be built by you, right? So just give me a second. Just give me a second. Just lost track of something. So, but I hope you guys are getting what I'm saying. Just put on the chat box and let me know what's resonating with you. Because most times, a lot of people think that there is somebody somewhere who God has sent, to change their life and to do all those what's not. But really, nobody was created to be anybody's breakthrough. Nobody was created to be your breakthrough, right? Nobody was created to be your breakthrough. You are going to be the person that will be your own breakthrough. Yeah, you are going to be your own breakthrough. I'm just having a small glitch here. Just 1 second. So you are going to be the person that will build the future that you desire for yourself. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. I think I have it. Oh, good. Sorry, I needed to plug my device. All right, fantastic. So you're gonna be the person that will build the kind of future you desire for yourself, right? Yeah. So and it starts with one thing. I needed to drive that so that you stop believing that there is anybody anywhere who is the cause of your problem, right? There is technology for you to use and dominate your space. So whatever thing you desire to be, wherever you want to be in the next 5 years, in the next 2 years, in the next 10 years, you are the person that is going to build it. Nobody's going to do that for you. And I'm going to tell you the step by step how after 14 years of coming out from school, and I don't mean university. I mean, after 14 years of coming out, it took me 14 years to get into the university. That's what I'm saying. So you are the person that is going to do that for yourself. If you are building a business, you want to build a business, you want to build a community, you want to get into politics, whatever thing you want to do, there is nobody anywhere who's going to do that for you. And don't forget, you have lost the right to play it local. You have lost the right to be a local person. And this whole thing comes with clarity. Now, let me say this. You see, clarity actually comes when you become self-aware. However, your possibilities begin. Your possibilities are ignited when you start growing your self-awareness. Understand this. You become clear. When you become self-aware about yourself, that's when you are clear. You have clarity when you become self-aware. But you see, the possibility of where you want to be will be ignited in the process of growing your self-awareness. Why? Because there is a lot of distraction. There is always a lot of distraction from the social media, from people around. There is a lot of toxicity, in which case you have to keep evolving, right? Because you have to keep evolving, you have to keep changing, trying to find new things. How are things changing? And you are staying ahead of change, because there are two kinds of people. There are people who see change when change is coming, and they are still questioning it. They are still saying, no, it won't get to this point. No. I mean, UK is talking about technology, but a lot of people are saying, no, it won't get that bad. It won't get that bad. Let's just wait. It will get the next building, it will go back. And these people will be there. Change will catch up with them, and change will pass and get to like the next community. And what do? They will now be the ones that are now chasing change. They are trying to catch up with change when they could have positioned themselves. So you have to be very clear about where you want to be. But beyond being clear, you need to know that you have to constantly keep growing your self-awareness. And why do you need to constantly grow your self-awareness? Why? Because you will always have limited resources. You will always, this is not about being spiritual, right? We all are spiritual people, but a time comes when we have to be very realistic with who we are and where we need to be. You will always have limited resources. That's one thing you need to be very clear about. And because you always have limited resources, what do you need to do? You need to start positioning yourself. Now, this is where we're getting into what can you use some of the tools of technology to do. And one of the things that helped me, I spoke with Madam, and she was like, she said I should talk about a particular thing. So I was 22 years old when I became the SA to the head of service. So I pretty much have like a very unique trajectory, right? I have a lot of experience from the private sector to the public space. I've worked in the non-governmental space. I volunteered for 6 years, working from all kinds of projects, women development projects, orphans and vulnerable children, community TB care, rollback malaria. I did a lot of program out of school youth and all that, vesico-vaginal fistula, female genital mutilation. I did quite a lot of projects, within 6 years while I lived in the community. And then I got to work with the Local Government Service Commission in one of the states in Nigeria. And eventually I was appointed as the SA to the head of service. And I was 22 years when I became the SA to the head of service. And even while I was doing all these things, I didn't understand that it was still like a local thing, right? I didn't understand how I can actually break out of that place. I didn't understand that there was like a veil that made me to be very comfortable in that vicinity. You are just answering this big title as the SA board. You know that all the SA you are answering, you're just a local champion, right? And that's one thing with a lot of people in the part of, especially if you're in Nigeria, I'll just make reference to Nigeria, where a lot of people are so overwhelmed by title, by the name title. You want to just answer one big name, no experience, no expertise, nothing. You just want to answer name because right now social media is free. You can open up a Facebook and right now you're already CEO, founder of what. And when you are being addressed and when you're being assessed, you find out that you are completely empty, right? You're completely empty. And so I was at the place, yes, I had a lot of experience. I gave a lot of value, trust me. For the state government to have appointed me as the SA to the head of service, that's like at 22, I was placed on grade level 12, step 2. Most people will spend all their lives in the civil service, they will never get to that place. But when I eventually left government space, I worked there, and I was also privileged to have served as the personal aide to late Dr. Miles Monroe when he was alive. And that's like one of the greatest privilege I ever had in my life. And I remember one of the days, he was working in the night, and then he called me, and then he now said, Raymond, you have to be a man of vision. Every genuine vision will always make provision. I heard that from Dr. Miles Monroe, live and direct. We were together in his room, when he told me that every genuine vision will always make provision. And on the strength of that, what he said to me, and on the strength of what he said to me that very night on September 13th, 2013, on the strength of this word, I have built my life, I have built global relevance, because if your vision is not genuine, you're going to struggle. You are going to struggle. So a lot of people wonder, Raymond, how were you able, to get to a point where, I was frustrated at some point, because after 2015, I decided I didn't want to work with government. I wanted to focus on youth development and leadership. I focused and to build a lot of capacity of other people with the experience I had gotten. And at a point, I lost everything, right? I lost everything. I lost my house. I lost relationship. I was not in school. I didn't have a job. So I was it's like someone that was, at the top, and all of a sudden you are not even, you are below the bottom, right? You're not even at the bottom, you are below the bottom, because I struggled, I was frustrated, I was depressed. And imagine all these experiences I told you that I have gotten. I had traveled to different places, I had met all kinds of people, I had sat, with different kinds of people as a 22, 23-year-old guy. And then, Samuel. So, and at that point, I was stranded. So what did I do? Fast forward, I learned about the power of what I want to teach you guys, talk to you guys about, and that is personal branding. There are a lot of people that are using technology who have not mastered the power and the tool in personal branding. What is even personal branding? Personal branding is very simple. It's not a science, it's not a scientific word. It is simply what people are saying, what people are thinking, what people are, feeling about you, even when you are not in the room. So what do people think about you when you are not there? If you understand how to build this, if you understand how to build a brand around your person, then you are going to do so well in leveraging technology. Because we are at a time where a lot of people spend a lot of time on gossip blogs, on Insta blogs, on all the Big Brother Naija, and so much so that they are completely empty when they are invited to discuss on things that matter, right? I'm very sure if people like UK spend a chunk of his time, in gossip blogs, he's not going to be as sophisticated as he is right now. So you have to master how to build your personal brand. And in building your personal brand, you have to understand how do you put out your image, right? What are your mission? What's your mission? Energetic EJ talked that a little bit, where she was like, you need to know your message. What do you really want to put out? It's not just about, opening up, you're trying to use social media to, UK just mentioned Zapier, mentioned Integromat, mentioned so many tools, and it's not just about jumping on them. You need to be able to, first of all, relax and ask yourself, what do I really want to put out? What do I want people to know me for before I can put out this content? And let me tell you why you need to build your brand. And these are the things that I did, guys. I did this because I realized that if you don't brand yourself, you will be branded. If you don't brand yourself, you will be branded, right? And it's a problem if people brand you. If you are branded, is a problem, because you will not be there to correct what people think and say about you. So it's very important that you are the person that is branding yourself. You're the person that is telling people, this is who I am. And it comes down back from everything. How you put out yourself, how you talk, how you dress, the kind of content you engage on, the kind of posts you make, how do you put out your business, the kind of relationships that you have. These are the things that will help you to brand yourself. Otherwise, people will brand you. And when people brand you, you can't really control that. And the next thing is that you have to be very shameless about your dreams. So many people, even on this technology space, are still being very introverted. You feel like you don't want to talk, you don't want anybody to know you. You feel you can just be lying down on your bed and things will just be happening. It is no longer at this point. These are points where you have to be very bullish with your dreams. You have to put your dreams in such a way that even the blind people can see. When I started building my platform, Youth Spark Pan Africa in 2014, I spoke about it so much so that it was like a music in the ears of everybody who cared and who didn't care to listen. You must know about it, right? But then in trying to be shameless about your dreams, you also need to know that you will not satisfy anybody, but you have to put out the message anyway, because the people that will connect to your message, they are there. The next thing is that you need to detoxify yourself regularly. Detoxify yourself regularly. On this social media, you need to mind the kind of content. I already mentioned that. You must not comment. A lot of people are always too quick to comment on things, and you don't know that the internet never, ever forgets. Internet never forgets. You have to unfriend and unfollow people if you have to, just to preserve your space and all that. The next thing, you have to be known for something and tell anyone who cares to know. Whatever thing you have, share what you know. If you get new information, let people know that you know something. That's the best way, one of the best ways to start sharing and start branding yourself. People should know that there is something about you that is unique, right? Stop holding information. When you have information, stop keeping it to yourself. Look at the kind of information that EJ shared here and Uke also shared. Very, very premium information that on a normal day, people can pay a lot of money, but they were just sharing these tools for free. So what happens when you have a problem and you feel like, oh, I still need further knowledge and all those things on these tools? You still have to reach out to them and be part of what they are doing. Then get into the right association. Very, very powerful. Even on the social media space, trust me, it's very difficult to get into the space of important people because they have worked so hard to get to the top, and they will be very brutal with anyone who wants to pull them down. So don't feel bad when you send messages to people and they don't respond to you. It's because they understand how much it has caused them to get to that point. And you cannot just get into their space and you expect that because it's social media, they can open their two hands and get to you. So what I did was that I focused more on adding so much value to myself, such that each time you check out my platform, you check out what I'm doing, you will know that I am not coming to be a parasite to you. I also have value that I can contribute. So you want to get into the right association. Let me tell you what the right association does. It does two things. You need two things, basically, right association and quality information. And these two things go hand in hand. When you are part of the right association, they will feed you with right information. When you have the right information, you attract the right association. Did you see how it goes? So you invest in yourself to acquire quality information. When you do that, you're going to attract the right association. Then if you get yourself into the right association, they are also going to feed you back with another dimension of quality information. And this is something that you must be willing to pay to enter. I tell my friends that, you see, when I pay people money to learn from them, I really don't pay for knowledge. I pay for access, because relationship is one thing that will remain after every other thing has crashed. Relationship is one thing that will remain when your skill, when your strength, when everything you have acquired has failed. You will have to fall back to only one thing: relationship. And what betide you if you did not build quality relationship, then you're going to have to suffer for a very long time to come. And so you must be willing to pay for access. I will pay the last money, my last dollar. I will pay my last dollar to gain access to any quality individual anywhere in the world. I will borrow money to pay for access to enter into the space of anyone that I feel like this person is important to be in my space. And so this is something that you want to be. You have to become part of a platform as I begin to round off, or you build a platform. Either you go and become part of a platform by volunteering, find out people that are doing the kind of things that you like, find a way to add value to them, find a way to volunteer, find a way to, you are a digital marketer, you are a social media manager, whatever thing you're doing, find something that is working and add value to it. That's one of the best ways to become part of a platform, or you build your own platform, right? You build your platform and people also get to your space. I just mentioned that you have to volunteer. That's actually one of the fastest ways to climb and fast track your progress. Volunteering. People think that volunteering, you are doing a good to the organization. You are not. I spent 6 years volunteering, learning and mastering how to navigate my path. That's how I could spend 14 years without going to school, and my record was so sound. My record was so sound. People did not believe that I did not have a university degree, because I spent time volunteering. I spent time learning from people. I spent time acquiring experiences. And for 14 years, I had people gambling on my head. He's a graduate, he's not a graduate. He's a graduate, he's not a graduate. It happened. And so you have to volunteer, get into something that is working and is really going to do a lot for you. You have to accumulate massive, massive knowledge. Lastly, you have to seek for mentorship. Mentorship is very, very key because there is one, let me explain mentorship to you guys. Very, very one sentence. Number one, you must have someone you are either too ashamed or too afraid to disappoint. Mentorship is about having someone you are too ashamed or too afraid to disappoint. Someone that you know you can't fail because you don't even want to look at their face. If your mentor is that kind of person that when you fail, you smile and come and smile at the person and say, that's how we saw it. Now, so God want them. Then that person is not a mentor. Mentorship is that point where you know you can't come back with a bullshit excuse. You can't come back and say, I don't know how it happened. No, you must go and produce the result for your own good. So you must have someone. If you don't have, you have to go and find. You must go and find someone. You must go and find someone that you are either ashamed to talk about your failure, or someone you are too afraid to come and tell that it didn't work, because you know that it won't even work well for both of you guys, right? And again, people make a lot of mistakes by telling people, I want you to mentor me. Have you noticed that almost everybody who tells people, I want you to mentor me, the answer is always no. The answer is always no. Anytime you tell somebody, I want you to be my mentor, they will always tell you no, because mentorship is not a question, it's not a Q&A thing. Mentorship finds its way when you commit to adding value to someone you are desiring relationship with. In the process of adding value, you unlock that code of mentorship. You don't even need to ask for it. It just starts flowing. You unlock it by adding value. So stop going to people to say, I want you to mentor me. Because let me give you this hack for free. Don't forget this. How you meet people is more important than meeting them. Don't always be in a hurry to meet people. You must go back and curate how you want to meet them. When you meet people, even if it's in a party, even if it's in a meeting, whatever, don't be in a hurry to rush to take selfie with people, because you will be counted as the crowd. You will be counted as the crowd. Always go back and curate, how do I gain their attention? Even if it means you won't meet them that day, go back and strategize. Find out, what is this person's pain point? How can I be part of what this person is doing, so that the next time he sees me, there are a lot of people that are in my space that people wonder, how am I able to gain access to these people? Because I'm not in a hurry to meet people. I'm not in a hurry because I'm interested in how do I meet you, right? Will I meet you? Yes, I'm going to meet you, but then how do I meet you? And lastly, before I leave, you have to travel to expose your minds. You must travel. A lot of people in Nigeria, a lot of people in Africa, they are very, very comfortable in their houses, in their homes. They don't even have a passport, which is a problem. So how do you talk about going global? How do you talk about global dominance, global relevance, when you don't even have a passport? But you spend a lot of money on other frivolities, but you don't even have a passport. What does it mean? You can't even attract opportunities because it's a law of attraction thing. If you have a passport, I have my passport here on the table with me here. If you have a passport with you, you start activating opportunities. People will start calling you for things. It's a mind thing, but people don't even have. So you have to be able to have a passport, find a friend, visit a friend in the next city, attend the knowledge living event, attend conferences. There are paid events, there are free events, whatever. Find something that is happening elsewhere and attend. These are the ways to break out of geographical limitation. And last word is this: learn how to take care of small things, and you will open up your mind to think and apply big things. You must find all the basic things that give you problem. You must find all the basic things, little things. If you learn how to take care of the small things in your life, your mind will automatically open up to think about big things. And these things, let me give you an example. One of them is, if you live in a house, all those bills, pay for bills, maybe small debts, buy basic food items. If you are still a young person, find a way to buy little things, buy Indomie, buy all those things and keep in the house. You will open up a mind of abundance. They may not be many, but you start feeling abundance in the house because those things are there. And guys, these are the tools that helped me to break out of geographical limitation. Today, I'm in Cyprus, I'm studying, and a couple of days ago, I got an opportunity here that is very profound. and people are wondering, Raymond, you're just been here for 6 years, 6 months. I've been here for 6 months. How are you able to access this kind of opportunity that are only available to people that have been here for 3 years? So guys, I believe that by the time you get through all this whole thing, this will help you to plan your life. By the time you add it to what EJ said about bringing out your voice and the tools that UK shared on how you can channel these things, and then maybe this thing can also ginger you up to know that your geography is not the reason why you should be local. You are already a global citizen by default. Thank you so much, guys.
Wow, wow, wow. I mean, I can see fire everywhere. It only gets better. It only gets just way better. I am blown away again, and again. Guys, if you are sleeping, you are a giant that is sleeping. I mean, the information we are getting today, it's just so immense. I didn't even expect it. It's amazing. It's mind-blowing. And after today, I don't even know what I'll become, because I'm already looking into my future. It's already bright after today. Please, I want everybody to put together their questions. It's that time. Now, please, those questions that you have, you need to put them together. It's time to start asking questions. So if you have a question, please go to the chat box and indicate by wave, and then I'll pick you to ask your question. I expect questions. So please, right now, go to the chat box, just indicate by wave, and then we'll give you the platform to ask your question. And if you are not following R.E.A.D Nigeria on social media, this is the time to go and do it. I mean, the value we get from here is just to click and follow. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow all our resource persons. If you see what has been thrown out here, you won't. The moment I saw them, I followed all of them immediately. So follow them, you probably will get a follow back, but if you don't, the value you get is way more than anything. So please follow all our resource persons right away. So if you have any questions, I'm waiting for questions. I am waiting in the chat box for questions. Please ask your questions. If you have questions for Energetic EJ, if you have questions for Mr. OK, if you have questions for Mr. Raymond, all right, beautiful. All right, now Ufems has a question. It says, how do you really build your brand to have an incredible online presence? Okay, so I think that question is directed to Mr. OK. Yeah, so how do you really build your brand to have a credible online presence? Mr. OK, please, if you can take the answer for us, we are waiting. Are you there?
Yes, I am. So,
okay, beautiful.
Yeah, I see the question. How do you really build your brand to have a credible online presence? That's the question I got, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so credibility has a lot of things that have to do. I'm hinging so much on that word, credibility. So I think one thing that you should seek very fast in order to build a credible brand, as you said, is to find faster ways of having proof of work, testimonials, or like, stuff like that, basically. That's one. And then two, putting out more content than the next person who you think is more credible. So people who, if I read something from you more often, right, somehow my brain would just begin to assume that you're such an expert at this thing, right? And I would begin to assign some level of credibility to you. So that's two ways to really hack it really fast, right? So put out content more frequently. So don't, if you see maybe someone who is already sort of up there, not posting as much, that's your opportunity, right? They don't have that time again. Right? So that's your opportunity. Step in there and fill that gap, put out content around your work, right? As much as you can, because the more times I see your face, the more times I hear from you, watch your video, read your work, a part of my brain will just be assigning, attributing credibility. Oh, okay, this person knows this stuff. This, before you know it, even before I see a proof of work, just because I've been looking at how well you put out yourself and put out your content, I already ascribe credibility to you. So that's one way. And the second way, of course, is getting testimonials and showcasing them, right? Getting your testimonials, proof of work, all those things, and showcasing them as well. So those are two ways that you can really do it.
Perfectly answered. Perfectly answered. All right, so we just take two more questions. One says, this question is directed at Energetic EJ. One says, how do you advise one to start a podcast?
Okay, fantastic. See, it starts with the goal. First of all, what is the goal for you? And remember, I said you need to decide what it is you want to be known for. So based on who you are and your message, it kind of gives you an idea of crafting, okay, what this podcast is going to be about. And so once you know what the podcast is going to be about, so basically there are about 5 questions you ask yourself. Once you have those answers, then you can go ahead, because the truth is you can start a podcast right now, like on the spot. If you have your message, you know what you want to share, you have a mobile phone or your laptop, there are platforms, right, that you can just go right on, share what you have to share, and just share it and just start. But like we have all said, there's one thing that is a uniform word here, is just being intentional. So it's not just about starting off and running with whatever information you've gotten here today. Be intentional, sit with it and craft a strategy. Now, let me tell you this for free. Let me copy my sweetheart UK. Let me tell you something for free. Okay. Is that your passion is very important. But please, I am begging you in the name of God, do not run on passion alone. It is important to have strategy. I am one person who ran on passion. Like my business, I ran on passion. A lot of things I do, I run on passion. But I'm learning the hard way now that strategy makes all the difference. It is not about who starts first. It's about starting well. And I mean, like again, I'll plug it in again as a Christian. The Bible says that who wants to build a house without, first of all, just sitting down and analyzing it and counting its cost? That is what strategy does for you. And so for me, it'd be like, say, I don't become dried fish. And I feel like I also have an assignment in that regard, that I am a starter. So I've come to terms with it. My passion is in such a way that ideas come and I start. I might not necessarily finish, but I have recognized that that is a pattern with me. And it's not because I don't know what to do, but I'm like an announcer. So I announce it, I show it, I do it to prove that it can be done. Somebody else picks it and run with it. But do not be like me if that is not your calling, if that is not your specialty, right? Before you start, before the word go, like UK said, like Raymond said, UK said systems, have systems in place. Raymond said, have a mentor, pay for access. Somebody has done it before. You don't need to start scratching your head to do it from scratch. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. I am an expert in reinventing wheels. Like I have a thermometer that goes off in my head, like you have to be different. You have to But difference does not really mean just trying to figure it out on your own when people ahead of you have done it already. So to start a podcast, settle the first things first. What is your message? What platform do you want to use? How often will you be putting out content, right? What is your market strategy? What is the end goal? Because you can start a podcast just to share your knowledge, just to share a message. But you can also start with the intention that at the end of the day, now monetization, they go. So I'm going to monetize this at the end of. So when you go with that initial mindset, it will help you in the processes, because when the going gets tough, you know that, this is the end goal. I've not reached it, so I cannot stop. All right. So I hope that was helpful. And besides, I have a course, if that's permitted here, I can help you if you want to, go through that process of starting and growing your podcast and then to the point of monetization. I hope that answered your question.
Perfect. Thank you, Energetic EJ. We all heard that. Be intentional.
Sorry, I had to jump in. Please drop in your handle. Yes, it is extremely permitted. Okay, drop in your handle for those that wants to learn.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, guys, we know what to do. So let's jump on that one. That's a very big opportunity that's just been given to us. So the last question, right? This is directed at Mr. Okay. I want to ask Mr. Raymond a question so bad. But anyway, so it says, how do you understand all the technical details? I mean, when it comes to applying technology to develop your brand, all those details, those technicalities you mentioned, how do you understand all of them? That it looks complicated?
Okay, so good news, you don't have to understand it all. Just good news, all right? So you're free, all right? This is your freedom. You don't have to understand it all. So you can, I mean, there's so many ways to really spin it. If you do not have the resources to get someone who understands it, then you most likely have the time to just learn a little bit of it, right? So I'm not saying you should put everything to practice almost immediately. You can create like a roadmap for how you would implement these things as they are important to your business per time, right? So if right now what is most important is at least having emails automated, okay, you can hop on YouTube, go figure out how to string MailChimp together. Somebody has definitely done a 5-minute video. Someone else has done a 5-hour video. Watch both, figure out how to make it work. Or it's just black and white, or you get somebody who knows how to do it. So those are really like your two best answers. So you don't have to keep it all in your mind. You can hire someone or learn it per time as it matters to you. That's how I have figured these things out from the start, basically.
Perfect, perfectly answered. Thank you so much. Please, I have one question for Mr. Raymond. Now, personal development takes time. Sorry, Coach said we should end now, but just one question. I'll have to ask this question. Personal development takes time.
It's fine.
And you know how it's discouraging to see that you're going through a process and you're not getting results. What do you do within that time of difficulty?
So you see, you can't jump the process. There is no way to navigate. You can't cut it short, right? But I always tell people that consistency will always triumph perfection anytime, any day, because there is really no perfection, right? If you're waiting till you see the results, you're not going to see the result, because there is even no result. At every level you succeed, there is another level. When you get to any point, there is another level. So what happens is that when you understand that there is a vision you have ahead of you, but then everything that happened from where you are to where you want to get to is a process. That's actually what happened. And I wrote today on my status, I said something. I said, actually, people give up when they lose focus on the major reason why they started. And so when somebody loses focus on the main reason, on the hunger that made them to say, I want to change my family, I want to change my life, I want to change this. When they start losing focus on that, then they will start counting what you're saying now. They'll start seeing that it's taking time, it's taking time, it's taking time. But if you don't do that, consistency, you cannot jump a process. You have to focus on that. And again, you have to do it whether you feel like it or not. Trust me, you don't need to come to a point where you say, I'm feeling like it now. No, you don't need to feel like it. You actually need to do it to feel it. You don't need to feel it to do it. You need to do it to feel it. That's just that.
Amazing, amazing. And this is just this is beyond the church today, and I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. Thank you so much. I really want to appreciate the resource persons for keeping to time. I mean, you kept the time, and I'm really grateful for that. Thank you so much. Without much ado, I'm going to hand over to our able coach to conclude for us. Coach, you have the floor.
Wow. Please, can I see the fire in the chat room? Azutvin, UK, I'm looking at you. You were doing all those, and I'm like, that was amazing. So much value. Energetic EJ. I mean, I'm not really a voice person, but by the time you were through my mind, I'm like, this podcasting, I need to start talking about Africa. Let me put Africa, because it's so right. It's one of the things I say that our biggest problem is we are not the ones telling our history. And the people that are telling our history are just saying whatever they like. And unfortunately, our grandfathers, there was no proper transition. I said, the reason why some of us are looking for jobs is the people that were labeled as herbalists were actually supposed to be originators of great pharmaceutical companies. I mean, we have so much value. Raymond, thank you so very much for bringing it home. Tonight has been simply amazing. You know, I'm one of those diehard Nigerians that people think is delusional. And when they come with all this, Nigeria will not be great, this cannot be this, blah, 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 blah. I always have a different stance point. And over the past couple of months, running R.E.A.D has really helped add credibility to my belief. How do you see somebody like UK and you tell me Nigeria will not be better? How now? See Brain, Makawai, see EJ, see Raymond. How? We refuse to be called what we are not. We have what it takes to change the narrative for the next generation. Will it be easy? No. But easy is not impossible. And you guys have just brought it home. As in, it's been fantastic. I'm sure that you have guys reaching out to you. So much value. You know, in my head, I'm like, if we have to pay for this, how much can we possibly pay? And you guys just let it out. We want to say a very, very, very big thank you. You guys you've just been awesome. I don't want to take our time and just be talking and talking, but this is us at R.E.A.D saying very, very big thank you. You have people hitting your DMs. Please, can I have you drop your handles? Raymond, UK, can you drop your handles so that... And EJ, you'll be hearing voices. You know, you must have a voice or a message. You must have one.
Yes, so. Starting with the next R.E.A.D meeting, please. Somebody should do the voicing, okay? Okay.
On our internal platform, people are already volunteering. Oh,
wonderful.
We got the voice.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Please go for it. It's going to take practice, but go for it. Start anyways. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you so much for the ginger. And everybody, thank you. This has been another Saturday evening, and you guys have sacrificed another 2.5 hours to add value to yourself. I want to say a very big thank you. There is no R.E.A.D without you. We really appreciate the time. Can we unmute our mics and tell our fantastic moderator, Samuel, you were amazing. Thank you so much. Our moderators and our presenters, can we unmute our mics and tell everybody thank you?
Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. You did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. You're amazing.
All right. Thank you, everyone.